Well, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm kind of a combative person. Okay, really fucking combative, but that's beside the point. I have, some might say a lot of anger in me. It took me a long time to merge the idea of being trans with my own self-perception. I've been suspended multiple times, and during my late teens is when I found myself at my angriest. But that's only half of why I love to fight. The other half is simply that people are fucking ridiculous, and the most concentrated forms of human ridiculousness can be found right here, my dear fucknuts, on the interwebs. And it was here that I found the perfect outlet for my anger. During this time, I would find myself in internet forums, arguing on topics for which I held no particular regard for. Some call it trolling, I call it art, and I will not apologize for art. So I spent a lot of time on the internet, deliberately making passionate people passionately angry, and taking great joy in the thrill of the fight. The thing is somewhere along the way, I tripped up and ended up becoming friends with some of them. I'm sure some of you out there are wondering how someone as amazing as me ended up becoming friends with these losers. No offense intended. I met Jihan first. We ended up having a pretty legit discussion on this thread on visibility in this trans forum. And, I mean, they had some pretty interesting thoughts, and so we just got to talking and we really got on. I mean, they're romantic, and the whole lot was really interested in social change and the apocalypse and pulling down social structures to put new ones in place and all that kind of shit, and I can really get into that. Fighting spirit, you know. Fui was next, Jihan being our mutual friend, and Fui was quiet and clever and artsy and hilarious. Just, he's fucking brilliant. So I thought, okay, well, maybe less trolling and more friend-making is in my future. So, from knowing them, I met the rest of the Les Amis de la ABC. And that's where it kind of fell apart again. At first, let's just say that I didn't want much to do with the group. I mean, all I knew is that there was a cis person telling me and a bunch of trans people what we should think and how we should feel about our rights, and I was furious. At first. I wasn't just gonna stand by and let that shit happen, so I messaged the person at the head of this half-together group, and I spoke my part. I suppose I could have toned down how angry my message was, but I stand by what I said to her, that she should take a back seat and let people, trans people, speak for themselves. And, well, I was kind of surprised when she took a back seat and let us speak for ourselves. So I learned the group wasn't really just a bunch of cis people telling me what to think. And Joel wasn't really so much of a dick. I got to talking to most of them and realized, unfortunately, that they are all really great people. But I still had a big issue with the group. All of their talk about social change and tearing down the establishment is that that's all it was. Talk. That's all I saw when I first met Les Amis. Yeah, they were talking about the right shit, but I mean, even when you're making the right claims, just sitting on your ass and talking about it doesn't do anything. I mean, they're just discussing things, and what good does that do for anyone? If you want to make a change in this world, you go out there and you fucking do it. I mean, you have to. And I didn't see any of the Amis doing that. And that shit annoyed me. It annoyed the fuck out of me. So maybe I started poking at a few of their egos, and I might have started egging them on a little bit, and I mean, you know, it was for a good cause. I don't need to tell you that I was kind of a little shit about these things. All these gringo revolutionaries talking about being fucking oppressed, como a bunch of old abuelos who complain about the same dumb shit every day, go out, don't do anything to fix it, then come back and complain that nothing is being done to fix it. no fucking shit, nothing's gonna get done if you don't do anything to fix it. Then they started to wake up. Our fearless leader, living up to her title, started talking up some heavy protests, encouraging, pressuring people to get active, get involved. I mean, obviously not the way I pressure people, with my fists, but with the good old helping of vergüenza. Shame for all of you who don't speak the language of romance and migrant workers. Then they got carried away, and they got all of their asses kicked out of the forum for talking about their planned day of action in a forum that was all about theoretical debate. And I was sad to see them go. Like, they did some not so great shit, but I mean, at least they knew what they were talking about, and Gian and Fui were awesome, and I may or may not have started some shit and got kicked out of 3 different forums in a row. When light at the end of the tunnel, when I got an email inviting me to go join a new forum that they'd created. Actually, I was kind of wondering what they were smoking, because honestly, like, inviting my ass back after all the shit that I had given them, but I liked the losers too much to say no. I don't know. I mean, things just kind of fell together after that, and I got this message from Ijolra herself, talking about how much she valued my opinion and the way that I wasn't afraid to call her out on shit, and I was pretty impressed, actually. Anyways, so I stopped being so much of a cabrón about things, and actually started doing shit, and suddenly I was part of the team. And here I am now, pretty much stuck with these assholes. But I mean, I have a way of channeling my anger into something productive now, in taking action with these guys and helping people, or still calling people out on their shit, whether it's in the group or not. It's kind of become my official position. And it's awesome. I mean, I have my friends who I really love and trust, and I'm able to help them just as much as they help me, which really says something. So, that's my big life-changing experience for you. And they say social media is a bad thing.